Hey everybody, welcome back to Useful AI Hacks. Today, we got a zinger for you. A new Financial Times report highlights bold claims from AI pioneers saying that today's systems already outperform humans across a growing set of tasks, stoking fresh urgency on regulation, jobs, and where to draw the line on autonomy.
We decided to change everything, change culture, change design, change intellectual structure, use technology, move in new directions, and then we
Changes
began.
in higher ed, including just this week when the University of Virginia became the first public college to agree to Trump administration oversight. The biggest cause for change, AI, doesn't come up all that often in the political debate. For nearly a quarter century, Michael Crow has led the university that is, by some measures, the largest in the United States. Few people have thought as much about American higher education while also having the ability to influence it on such a large scale. But when we first talked with him a little over a year ago, we didn't cover artificial intelligence. A lot has changed since then.
AI will leave a lot of white-collar people behind.
Another uncomfortable truth linked to AI.
AI.
It's not a bubble.
Obviously the most disruptive technology in the history of mankind.
Egalitarian access to knowledge is at the highest level in the history of our species. What we have is a walking, talking reference library on any subject, and we never had anything like that in our society before.
We wanted to know how artificial intelligence is changing the American college experience, what it means for the teachers and students who have now made it a regular part of their lives. But we also asked Crow about the outcomes for recent graduates and how his school is preparing students for an economy that is moving very fast.
What does that do to teaching? I mean, back in the olden days, we wrote essays, we wrote blue books back when I was there. How do you do things like essays and evaluations?
Well, I think what has to happen, and we've experienced this at ASU with our 6,000 faculty members, several thousand of which are already AI trained, is you have to up the game. Perhaps we were learning too slowly, too incrementally, too much in a regimented or industrial way. With the AI tools that are available now, you can up the game, enhance the question complexity, enhance the answer complexity, expect more of the students. We had somebody give their test out of the business school to an AI system and get everything right instantly. Well, then the test is too easy. The test is too simple. So it's basically a way, in our view, to accelerate learning, to broaden learning, and to speed learning. So you have to look at it as a new way to basically make the game more intensive. The model's always changing. So Plato, was against the written word. He thought everything should be thought through verbally and communicated verbally. There were unbelievable forces against the development of the printed book. And so the internet and its development, the web and its development all had people that were against it. And so AI changes the model in the sense that it speeds it up and intensifies it. It personalizes the learner's experience, but it doesn't teach those core things. There's no values being taught. There's no values being experienced. There's no lived experiences being built. So what we really have here now is we just have this massive hyperspeed calculator capable of going to all of the digitized information, you asking a question about that information and getting the most probable answer. It's all about the questions that you're asking. It's not about the answers, it's about the questions, and that's what people need to really figure out.
Does it change the notion of cheating?
I'll bet humans have cheated for quite a while. It does change the nature of what is your work. Now, if you're answering a complex question and you're using a reference library and an AI system to answer that question, that seems legitimate. If you're using it to produce your analytical response that's supposed to be demonstrative of your ability, well, then you're cheating. Now, you have to then build a system which recognizes the ability to gain access to these tools. Now, sometimes it's just going to be you in there by yourself taking the test, because they've got to know that you know how to ask the question, you know how to derive the answer, that your brain works in a certain way. Beyond that, the AI systems are going to enhance learning in every possible way, and the idea of cheating will change.
At this point, are there some things that you can learn that AI cannot teach you?
Absolutely. I mean, an AI system can't teach you to be innovative. It can't teach you to be creative. It cannot teach you grit. It cannot teach you the discovery process. It cannot teach you, it's a machine. It's an advanced hyper-speed calculator. It can do things that you can't do. It can think around corners that you can't see. But of course, so can a dog. And so it's a powerful analytical tool to enhance our mental capabilities, not to replace them.
In order to ensure that AI is a springboard rather than a crutch, Crow says students and teachers will have to raise the bar. And one place he's already seen signs of AI's ability to supercharge progress is in the school's research programs.
It's almost unbelievable. We have probably 50 research groups that are using advanced AI to solve unsolvable problems, to figure out how to process materials or manage the Mississippi River in a different way in terms of the flow of the water and the flow of the dirt and other things that go down the river. We've got people doing advanced chemistry now. We're using AI systems to think beyond the way that we normally think, to create more revolutionary opportunity. There was a study recently done by some of our faculty at the speed with which you could complete the work equivalent to a dissertation in genetics, 14 days. What that means then is that the PhD that normally takes 4 or 5 years to set up the experiments, do the work, be evaluated, maybe the PhD student of the future will do the equivalent of 20 PhDs. That will speed up the cures for cancer. That will speed up the analytical tools that will help restore sight in human beings. That will speed up the techniques that use electromagnetic current to affect people with Alzheimer's disease and other neurodegenerative diseases, all of which are computationally limited.
Certainly the world has changed enormously since I came out of college a long time ago now. But my sense is the rate of change has really increased, maybe even geometrically, how fast it's changing. How do you prepare graduates today for a world 20, 30, 40 years down the road that I can't even imagine?
So there's no way to prepare someone for something you don't know what it will be, except one thing. What we call, we're attempting to take all the people that are coming to our university, 120,000 degree-seeking students, 700,000 other learners who are just taking courses with us, digitally and otherwise. Can we help create you to be a master learner? Can we help you to be a person capable of learning anything, adjusting to anything, adapting to anything? It's really that, because we don't know what all of the adaptations that will be required are. We do know that you should be grounded in American history and economics and the role of democracy and certain subjects in math and science and so forth and so on. And then after that, we find a learning path for you to take where you learn to learn. We don't care what your major is. I met a kid the other day who was majoring in opera and physics. Great, fine, fantastic. That's how that kid learns. And so that's what we're after. How do you create universal learners capable of learning anything? That's the pathway.
We hear at 40,000 feet about a shifting employment situation for recent college graduates because of AI. Are you seeing any of that in the real world?
We're not seeing that in our graduates. Now, the problem with people talking about all college graduates, there's more than 20 million people in college. A couple million go to what you think of as sleepaway colleges. They go to places where you're living on campus. The other 18 million go to college in some other way, community college, online, some kind of other course, and so forth. So we're not seeing any change. We're seeing the same level of anxiety. We're seeing the same level of the process. More than 95% of our students that graduate as undergraduates are employed or in graduate school within the first year, almost all within the second year. So we're still, seeing good ROIs. But what we are seeing is students, who are quite savvy, adjusting their trends. So we're seeing a slightly downward trend in computer science and a slightly upward trend in double majoring and triple majoring. More people moving into analytics and supply chain and all kinds of other things. And so the market for learning is also adjusting. We measure our success based on who we include.
Crow hopes the size and scope of ASU will help with that adjustment, allowing students to react quickly and build new skills for the changing world. And in a school made famous for opening its doors rather than being exclusive, he thinks the most important skills of all can come from unlikely places.
We've even got ways now that we're using advanced AI-enhanced robots to help people that aren't qualified to get into a particular college to do what they want to do to get them qualified. Guess what? When we get them qualified, they have more grit and determination than anyone else who sort of walked into it from high school, and they outperform everyone.
There's a theme going on right now that maybe college has been overrated, oversold. What do you say to parents?
What we have is a way for your child, your student, to learn on the path that's going to enhance their ability to be most adaptive throughout their life. So don't worry about their major. So we get these parents that say, well, my kid needs to major in accounting so they can get a job, or they need to major in anything other than political science or history or English where they'll never get a job. That's actually not true. Some of the hottest things that we have that we're producing right now are English majors that can code. And so they have a broader perspective and they can code. And so we provide free coding classes to everyone in the institution. We provide other ways in which you can double major, triple major, take other kinds of things. And so what we say to parents is, Let's find the way where your kid is going to smile while learning, while preparing themselves to be a master learner, and you'll have to worry about them less. If they take a fixed thing in a fixed way, and a fixed pathway, they could find themselves in an alley and no way out. We're trying to make sure that that doesn't happen.
And Microsoft's AI shopping agents were easily manipulated in tests. AI agents can bargain, but they can also be tricked. You see, Microsoft ran controlled experiments where AI shopping agents navigated a mock marketplace. Researchers found that the agents could be nudged into bad deals and questionable purchases.
Microsoft just revealed shocking AI agent failures in their new Magentic Marketplace simulation. Researchers tested 100 customer agents against 300 business agents in this open-source synthetic platform. The results? Current AI agents are surprisingly vulnerable to manipulation. Business agents could trick them into buying products. Plus, when faced with too many options, the agents got completely overwhelmed and couldn't handle the overload. Collaboration was another major fail. They couldn't figure out who should do what without step-by-step guidance. This raises big questions about whether AI agents are ready to work unsupervised in the real world. Microsoft's research with Arizona State University shows we're not there yet.
So my question for you is this. How likely are you to use ChatGPT in your upcoming Christmas shopping lists? Tell us in the comments below. Are you okay with giving ChatGPT your credit card information to actually follow through and complete the purchases? Because ChatGPT, OpenAI, just made a contract with PayPal to be able to do just that. So tell us, are you still going to want to enter in your own details? Or are you just going to say, yeah, go ahead, here's my credit card. If anything happens, I can always contest it and debate it later. Just tell us in the comments below. We want to know. And IBM is going to cut thousands of jobs as it pivots deeper into AI software and consulting. The legacy tech company is retooling for the AI era and fast. IBM is reportedly planning major workforce changes to prioritize higher margin AI software and advisory services amid surging enterprise demand for AI transformations.
IBM is resulting in thousands of job losses in the fourth quarter. This strategic move aims to sharpen the company's focus on high-growth areas like software and artificial intelligence. According to reports, the layoffs will impact a low single-digit percentage of IBM's global workforce, which stands at approximately 270,000 employees. IBM is prioritizing its software segment, including hybrid cloud and AI consulting, to drive growth and profitability. The company is streamlining operations to improve efficiency and reduce internal complexity. IBM is focusing on its cloud services, including Red Hat, to benefit from increasing demand in the industry. Estimates suggest that between 2,700 and 5,400 employees may lose their jobs, based on a 1 to 2% reduction in the global workforce. U.S. workers impacted. Some U.S.-based employees will be affected, but IBM expects U.S. employment to remain roughly the same year over year. The company is reorganizing its workforce to prioritize high-growth areas, which may lead to job reassignments and further restructuring. The layoffs are part of a larger trend in the tech industry, with companies like Amazon and Microsoft also announcing significant job cuts. IBM's focus on software and AI growth is expected to drive future profitability and competitiveness in the industry.
And Sony just released a fairness dataset to test computer vision models, making AI vision less biased, one benchmark at a time. Sony introduced a dataset intended to evaluate and improve fairness in computer vision systems, aiming to provide more rigorous ethical testing across diverse facets and contexts. They used images in the test dataset that were all sourced with consent. AI models are filled to the brim with bias, assuming that a woman can't possibly be involved in a particular career when you ask for a firefighter, for example. To deal with these issues, Sony AI has released a new dataset for testing the fairness of computer vision models. The Human-Centric Image Benchmark, FHIBE, or PHOEBE, is the first publicly available consensual, collected, and globally diverse fairness evaluation dataset for a wide variety of human-centric computer vision tasks, according to Sony AI.
Once a photo is taken, the software isolates your face from the background, removing anything else to focus solely on your facial features. Most facial recognition systems also use liveness detection. This checks for depth, movement, and even the thermal or reflective qualities of human skin. It's designed to tell whether it's seeing a real person or just a photo or mask. Next, the software maps key features like your eyes, nose, and mouth. These measurements are converted into a unique digital code, like a fingerprint, but for your face. That code is then compared against a facial features database. For authentication, like unlocking your phone, the system looks for an exact match. For identification, like finding a suspect in a police database, it searches for the closest match instead. But these systems aren't perfect. In complex situations like large crowds, poor light conditions, or partially covered faces, their accuracy drops, and the error rate is significantly higher for people with darker skin, increasing the risk of false positives.
You are scrolling online, maybe looking for a new pair of shoes. A few minutes later, you open a different app, and there they are, ads for those exact shoes following you. It feels like someone is listening. This unsettling reality pushed a group of ordinary citizens in California to do something extraordinary. They were not politicians or lobbyists. They were a privacy group called Californians for Consumer Privacy, and they kickstarted a revolution with a simple ballot proposition. The group gathered enough signatures to put their stringent privacy initiative on the November 2018 ballot. This sent shockwaves through Sacramento and Silicon Valley. In California, a voter-passed proposition is incredibly difficult for the legislature to change. Fearing an inflexible and permanent law, state legislators entered a high-stakes negotiation. The deal was simple: pass our slightly less restrictive version of the law, Assembly Bill 375, and the activists would withdraw their ballot measure. On June 28, 2018, the deal was struck, and the California Consumer Privacy Act, or CCPA, was born. So what did this 11th-hour political bargain actually give people? It established a foundational set of digital rights for every California resident. The right to know exactly what personal data a business has collected about you. The right to know if that data is being sold and to whom. The right to access a copy of it. And most critically, the right to tell that business to delete it all. For the first time, the law also explicitly forbids companies from discriminating against you, say, by charging you a higher price, just for exercising these new rights. The law's power lies in its incredibly broad definition of personal information. It is not just your name, address, or social security number. It is your IP address, your email, your search history, and your geolocation data. It even includes biometric information and any inferences a company might draw from your data to create a profile about your preferences, characteristics, or behaviors. This is the bedrock of how modern AI and advertising algorithms work, and the CCPA puts it directly under the consumer's control. One of the most visible results of the CCPA is a small link that now appears on countless websites. It says, "Do not sell my personal information." This is not just a polite suggestion. It is a legally mandated command. Businesses must provide this clear pathway for users to opt out of the sale of their data. For minors, the rules are even stricter. Companies need affirmative consent from a parent for anyone under 13, and from the teen themselves if they are between 13 and 16, before they can sell their data. You might think this only applies to tech giants headquartered in Cupertino or Mountain View, but the law's reach is vast. A business falls under the CCPA if it simply does business in California and meets at least one of three thresholds. It has annual gross revenues over $25 million. It buys or sells the personal information of 100,000 or more California consumers, or it earns more than half of its annual revenue from selling that data. This means a retailer in another country that ships products to California is on the hook, effectively setting a national and even international standard. To make sure companies take this seriously, the law comes with significant financial penalties. The California Attorney General can levy fines of up to $2,500 for each unintentional violation, but if a violation is found to be intentional, that fine skyrockets to $7,500. A single violation can apply to every single user whose rights were infringed. When you consider that, the potential costs for a non-compliant company become astronomical very quickly. Perhaps the most potent tool the CCPA provides is the private right of action for data breaches. If a company fails to implement and maintain reasonable security procedures and your personal information is stolen, you and others can join a class action lawsuit. The law allows for statutory damages between $100 and $750 per consumer, per incident or actual damages, whichever is greater. This is a game changer, giving individuals the power to hold corporations directly accountable in court for failing to protect their data. The CCPA was never just about California. It set off a chain reaction across the country. Other states, not wanting to be left behind, started drafting their own versions. Virginia passed its Consumer Data Protection Act, but with a key difference. It is only enforced by the state's attorney general, lacking the private right of action that gives California's law so much power. This created a complex patchwork of regulations. It also forced a national debate on whether the United States needs a single federal privacy standard to rival Europe's GDPR. The activists and voters in California were not done. In 2020, they went back to the ballot box with Proposition 24, also known as the California Privacy Rights Act, or CPRA. It passed, expanding and strengthening the original CCPA. It also created a brand new government body, the California Privacy Protection Agency. Its sole purpose is to enforce these rules. This move showed that the fight for data rights is not a single event but an ongoing struggle. It is constantly adapting to the challenges posed by new technologies like generative AI.
So there you have it, guys. That's the news for today with all that's going on in the AI area. And, you guys should really head on over to skool.com and search AI Agent Innovation Academy. Join our free community there, and you can get access to daily AI news, machine learning news, robotics news, and more. And if you want to get certified or take courses, even better. You can take them right there on school, or head over to our parent website, aiagentinnovation.com, and take certification courses right there to elevate you to the next level and make sure that you won't be part of the statistic losing their job to AI in the coming years. Thank you for watching. This is Jason for Useful AI Hacks. Be sure to toggle that notification bell and hit subscribe. Share the video so that all your family and friends can figure out the latest going on in the AI area. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.